All right, we are going to start with breaking news here. A large magnitude 7.3 earthquake just struck off the coast of Northern California. This map here, provided by the U.S. Geological Services, shows just how far off it is from the California coast. Now we're going to bring in our Brendan Minchef to give us the latest. Hey, Brendan.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Tracking the breaking news. That tsunami warning's out. You may have gotten a shake alert. Shake alerts looks like they've gone all the way down, been issued all the way down towards Fresno, Tulare, and then up into the far northern part of the state. There has been shaking reported into Butte County. We've gotten reports of some lights shaking in Butte County. Now, the important thing is there's a 7.3 magnitude earthquake about 60 miles off the coast. You see it there where the shaking has been. We got Rob up there in the back updating our earthquake maps for us. 7.3 earthquake, about half a kilometer deep. That is an incredibly shallow earthquake, and these are the types of earthquakes that can cause the tsunami waves. And so we do have that tsunami warning, which is issued from the coast of Oregon. You see it there, everywhere in red. Coast of Oregon, down Cape Mendocino towards Fort Bragg, also down through the San Francisco Bay Area, all the way into Santa Cruz. Now, this tsunami warning is going to continue to be updated. This is not something that gets issued and then left alone. This is something that seismologists continue to look at and update as we get more info and the earthquake waves go through the seismometers. Now, again, this is magnitude 7.3, so there are potential tsunami threats inbound for the Northern California coast. According to the U.S. Tsunami Warning Center, Fort Bragg in just 9 minutes could see some tsunami waves. Crescent City at 11:20, San Francisco at 12:10 may see some impacts from tsunami. Now, we don't know exactly how big these waves could be at this moment. We're not necessarily talking about massive waves. Tsunami waves could be a foot, it could be 2 feet, which in that case would obviously cause relatively minimal damage. But the the advice is, if you're in the tsunami warning area, if you're along the immediate coast, you evacuate inland, you get to higher ground above and beyond designated tsunami hazard zones, or move to an upper floor of a multi-story building. So again, if you are right on the coast, you are going to want to move inland. And again, this is a 7.3 earthquake. This is a very large earthquake that occurred maybe 60 miles or so off of Cape Mendocino, and you see that there. But again, it's not just the magnitude of the earthquake that we are concerned about. It's also the fact that it was half a kilometer deep.
So let's break that down. So it's a half a kilometer deep.
Yes.
It's not that far offshore.
No.
Does that all lend the possibility that there would definitely be a tsunami, or more likely a tsunami, since it's that close and that shallow?
The shallowness of it, yes, is what's important. If it's really deep under the ocean, the wave has more time to disperse through the water. But when it's real shallow, that shaking already starts shaking the waves at the surface when we're talking about half a kilometer is a third of a mile.
So how soon would we know? I mean, we have this happened a while ago.
Yes.
How long would it take for a tsunami to, say, get large and hit Santa Cruz?
Well, it depends on a few factors, and I am checking for the latest updated info right now from the Tsunami Warning Center. It depends, but like I said, that timeline right now from the National Tsunami Warning Center was giving us roughly until, let me double check the numbers here, roughly until 11:10 for Fort Bragg. So that's just 6 minutes we could start to see some higher waves along the coast. And again, this wouldn't necessarily be a 20-foot wave, but still a 3-foot series of waves coming through. It could be fairly significant.
Yeah, and a large stretch of the coast is being impacted by this, like just so many areas into Oregon, you said as well, right?
Yes, that's right. So this tsunami warning, you can see it in orange there. I know it's highlighted in dense fog, but the orange color is the important part. That goes all the way down the Oregon coastline, down through Cape Mendocino, down through the Bay Area, and San Francisco Bay also impacted by this. So you could see waves increasing up through parts of the Bay and even parts of the Delta there. You see the orange. Yeah.
So it says through Sunday, almost to noon, for a tsunami warning. I mean, we're sitting here Thursday late morning.
Yes.
So this is incredible how long the warning would be extended for, based on the fact that it just happened.
Yes, and this is not something that's going to last until Sunday. This is just, they're putting this out. They're giving themselves time. This is an event that lasts a matter of hours,
Right, that's what I thought.
Not days.
All right.
Okay, that is a very, very wide area. That is up in Eureka. Obviously, that's northern California. For it, Brendan, to affect Half Moon Bay, Santa Cruz area, that's the southern boundary that
Yeah.
you're talking about.
Yes, but it's important that this is not, tsunamis are not linear, right? It's not like tsunamis move just east-west or north-south. You got to think of it like a circle. The epicenter, like what we see on the maps in a second there, when it kind of circles around, we've got, the red circles off the coast. What that's showing us is that the waves propagate in a circular motion.
Is it like an outer band of a hurricane?
Somewhat like that,
Okay.
where the waves are going to move in all directions away from the epicenter. So even though this earthquake occurred off of the coast of Cape Mendocino, those waves are going to move southward down the California coastline in towards parts of the Bay Area, in towards parts of Monterey Bay as well. You see the circles there. Think of the earthquake like that circle where it's propagating out from the center. That's why we've got those extensive tsunami warnings.
I'm just going to jump in here. Brendan doing a great job here, so he's going to get more information. A couple extra things about this. There is a history of tsunamis in this part of the coast. There was a large Alaskan earthquake back in the 60s that did create a tsunami and essentially destroyed a big part of Crescent City.
It was awful.
If you translate what a tsunami is, it's Japanese for harbor wave, and that's why it might be a little overdone as far as the shading here for the San Francisco Bay. But all low-lying areas, especially that are open to the ocean, that are narrow and confined, it magnifies the effects, because essentially when you have a tsunami, it's an earthquake, the whole water column moves at once. As all that energy starts getting translated through the ocean, it gets magnified in these harbors, in these bays, and that's where you tend to see the biggest rises in the sea all at once, also the most damage, and unfortunately the most deaths to people. So anyone that has any connection to a harbor, to a low-lying coastal area, even in the bay, it really needs to be paying attention to this.
Yeah, and some of the areas that could be most impacted if you're in the Bay Area, excuse me, if you're in the Bay Area, family in the Bay Area, talking specifically about San Francisco, Ocean Beach, very low-lying. That's somewhere that if you want to be up off the coast of Ocean Beach at this point. The Embarcadero is another place, very shallow, right up against the water. The wharf, another place. You want to be kind of away from the water. You want to make sure you're scooting away, right? The advice is to find higher ground, get away from the water. Do not be right up close to it. And the other thing, too, is we talk about this with the hurricanes. And Walt, I know you worked in South Florida for a while, so you know about this. With storm surge, one of the things we see, the wind kind of blows the water out of the bay, and so it looks like the bay is emptying, right? So if you see water receding, if you see water being much lower than what it normally would be, that is a sign that the wave out there is generating strength.
Reloading.
Reloading, essentially, and you need to get away from the coast. Again, we're not necessarily talking about a 20-foot wave here. So, I mean, this is not necessarily like Indonesia 2004, but this is something where you need to kind of back off the coast and find higher ground. Better safe than sorry.